So they're about to be reacting too. This generation can't read and it's getting sad. How you get into your day to day life and you can't read? How you scrolling through social media and you can't read? You just looking at pictures? Like I'm genuinely confused. But I ain't got nothing to say. Let's see what he talking about, man.
She wore a
She wore a silhouette. A silhouette is a shadow, like a shadow figure of yourself. Like if you could see, you can't see me because my camera, but if you see a silhouette, it's like a shadow figure of yourself, basically. She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary but somewhat gauche. I had to get close. I don't read cursive now. That's some neat handwriting though.
suit clothes that were.
What she say?
Who's this for?
She
Talking
wore
about who is this for?
Suit clothes that were. Who's this for?
she wore a sahalat of
Let's give him grace. He probably in middle school. They probably didn't get to this word yet in English. You know how you get like a subset of words for the week in English class or whatnot. Literature, they probably didn't get that word yet. Let's give him some grace.
that were extraordinary, whatever, bro.
What the fuck does that say? Why am I reading?
The colonel asked the crier to accommodate the governor's schedule. I gotta get close to read that, bro.
Hey, no, I'm not
I
reading.
can't read that from
This
right
is
here.
a whole bunch
It just look like scribble from right here.
Governor asked the choir to accommodate the governor's schedule.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
of.
the cardinal asked the choir to accommodate the governor's schedule.
What does that mean?
He asked the choir to accommodate. I don't know, bro.
You know, when I was growing up, we had things like Reading Rainbow, Hooked on Phonics, In Between the Library. Every Easter, we gave a speech at church that made us talk out loud and practice our public speaking skills. And if you read 25 books in a quarter, then you got
Hold on.
to get invited to a Pizza Hut pizza party. Trust me.
See, look. With that Pizza Hut pizza party, that was in like elementary school. I never did. I never participated. I never been one to read books, just because the simple fact that I get bored fast. It's not that I can't read. I just my mind gets to wondering. Reading is not fun to me. Some people genuinely find joy in sitting there and reading. I don't do that. Even in school, like I didn't read. For the most part, I read the books when I had to, maybe. I ain't had no problem reading out loud in class, but I'm not about to put my hand up like, pick me, teacher, pick me. I'm not doing that. Somebody got to popcorn it to me. You feel me?
It was always nasty. It wasn't about that. It was the fact that you read the books and you won a prize, and the classmates who couldn't read couldn't get to the pizza. Duh. Now things have taken a turn for the worse. And not necessarily just because kids can't read sentences that are displayed on a note
I ain't gonna
card.
say I'm the best reader, but I can read, nigga. Yeah.
Words. Those sentences were a little bit tricky. There were some words that might not be common on the paper. But it's also the fact that the words that were used on the note card were also used incorrectly. All of the kids are illiterate. All of the kids can't read. AI and ChatGPT are
In my
taking
part,
over.
that's a different generation though. That gotta be like Gen Alpha or whatever the Gen is after Gen Z. Cause I'm Gen Z. Yeah.
We're gonna have a problem in the near future if we don't figure out how we got to this place quick, fast, and in a hurry. If you're new to this, please hit that subscribe
That's
button.
Gen
It goes
Alpha.
a
That ain't
long,
Gen
long
Z.
way
Let me
for
look
the
it
channel.
up real
Can
quick
you,
on
as
my
a
phone.
community, put a silhouette of a subscription on this extraordinarily gauche subscribe button? If you can comprehend that, you can comprehend becoming a part of this community. Now, back into the video.
I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
Seventh grade English teacher here. When I tell you that these babies cannot read, they cannot write, and they cannot comprehend, I'm not being.
Yeah, I'm born in Gen Z. And my sister, she was born in 2013, so she'll be the next generation. She can read pretty well. She if I'm 20, she 13 right now, so I'm about to be 23. Yeah, she 13.
I'm being.
She can read very well.
The class divide of the future is going to be.
But that's because my mama took time with her though, so.
We think and who cannot. What every educator on this app is talking about, and what every educator in the field is noticing, is a dramatic decline in basic critical reasoning skills and basic literacy skills among students. This is particularly pronounced among high school age students. And what this is creating is a generation entering the workforce without basic comprehension skills that is going to make it very hard for them to keep and maintain any form.
You know, that's my last time pausing. I could say this though. After middle school, I really stopped taking school serious because that's like really when you get. I feel like Middle school is like that's where you learn everything you need to learn. Then in high school up, it's just like a lot of BS that you're not gonna use in the real world. I mean, you get certain stories like Romeo and Juliet, uh, from Mice to Men or something like that. You know, different stories like that to give you different life lessons on how to critically think. But other than that, bro, middle school, in my opinion, middle school is where you use most of the basic day to day life teachings.
Since the rise of TikTok, we have been
Eighth
seeing more
grade,
firsthand
end of eighth grade.
accounts of people telling their real life stories about what's actually going on in their day-to-day lives. You can see how plumbers plumb, you can see how bakers bake, and you can see the plight of teachers in today's modern day education system. I feel like it started post-pandemic when kids started to migrate back to the in-class environment, when a slew, and I do mean a slew of teachers, came to the internet claiming that kids couldn't read, they couldn't write, there was a huge literacy crisis, and something needed to be done. And I'm old enough to remember the backlash that all of these teachers got when they were calling out these parents, when they were calling out the education system for
It is the
highlighting-
parents' fault, 100%. Because you have to hold your kids accountable. That's one. It's not the teacher's job to raise your children. It's the teacher's job to educate your children on things that they don't know that they need to know. But as far as, and then you have to implement that practice at home, even before they start going to school. Like my baby, she 2 right now. She know her ABCs. She can count to like 20. But she stumble on the element of people. What kid don't? She gonna work on that. She can count to 20. She know her colors. My baby smart. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she gonna be well. We just in the middle of potty training right now. It's kind of difficult because she just be off the walls. But yeah, bro, like I said, it all starts at home. It's parenting. You can't blame the teacher because your kid is failing in class. No, do better as a parent and implement that foot. My mama did great with that. See, I didn't care about school, but she put that foot down and made me do that work and made me learn. Yeah. Yeah.
These kids couldn't
Shout
read.
out,
People
moms.
were saying that they were embarrassing these kids. People were saying that you shouldn't be leaking this information out about these kids. And they even sought to get some of these teachers fired. But lo and behold, in the big 2026, because of one young man who was doing some sort of viral trend where he highlighted the fact that his classmates could not read, and hell, himself to a certain extent, people are now having to be faced with the realities of the extreme, and I do mean extreme literacy crisis that this nation has.
She wore a sahalat of clothes that were
Hold on. A sahalet. Howlet. I don't see how he got that word. He didn't even try to sound it out. Silhouette. I don't know if it's because I know the word, but if you sound it out, you'll get close to silhouette. Nigga said sahalet.
bro, but somewhat.
What does that mean?
She wore a lot. Wait, she wore. Bro, I don't know, bro.
She wore a silhouette of
There we
clothes that
go. See, he got it close. Yes, sir.
were extraordinary, but somewhat gauche. All right, now what does that mean?
I have no idea. She wore a. I don't know what this shit say. I don't know what this shit say. I don't know.
Nigga ain't gonna try. Come on, man. Go read a book, cuz you play too much games. Y'all, honestly, though, I feel like the pandemic definitely set back children. Just because the simple fact, I didn't learn nothing during the pandemic. I spent my junior and my senior year on lockdown. I didn't learn nothing. I was cheating the whole time. I can say that because the simple fact, I graduated. I was cheating the whole time, getting answers from classmates and whatnot. Doing ChatGPT, Quizlet, all that extra stuff, you know. But yeah, I didn't learn nothing. I was more so like schooling from home got to be the worst way to school. I mean, if you're getting homeschooled, that's different. But if you're doing online learning, bro, I'm not learning anything, bro. Straight like that. I didn't learn nothing.
Can't read it. Can't read it. Can't read it. Cancel back.
Come on,
I
can't
can
read
get the
it.
words gauche because that's something that's very uncommon and most people don't understand the word. Hell, the user didn't seem to understand the word when he put it into a sentence for his classmates to read. But words like kernel, extraordinary, and silhouette are actually disappointing to see that what seems to be high school age kids don't understand. And I don't even think that I'm truly upset that they didn't know words. There's words that I don't know. And hell, there's words that I didn't know when I was somebody their age.
That
But
front
what also
taper is crazy, though. Like, his
very
front
disturbing.
taper like 2 inches.
And
Damn.
also shocking to me is the fact that they didn't even attempt to sound it out. They quit on the word, acted as if they couldn't even fake
That's
the
what I'm
funk.
saying. He didn't even try. He stopped at she wore a. I don't know this. I don't want to read. No, I'm having a panic attack. Please stop. Please.
That's just a real telltale sign that in between the Lions need to make a comeback because there's something going on with these kids and we need to get in front of it ASAP.
Math and reading scores have dropped to their lowest levels in more than 2 decades among high school
Now,
seniors.
what I can say, in school, I didn't really care about that STAR test and stuff, so I would just click through that. I ain't gonna lie. It didn't affect my grade in no way. I'm not getting rewarded for this. I don't give a damn. I click straight through that, like, in all grades. From elementary, from when I had to start taking it to high school, bro, I did not give a damn about them state testing. If it didn't affect my grade in no way, and I'm not getting rewarded, y'all didn't reward us with a pizza party or something, I'm not taking this serious. What am I doing here for?
Scores come from the latest so-called Nations Report Card.
That's probably my problem, though. Hold on, y'all. Hello? I'm recording. What's up? At 3? Yeah. Sure, yeah. All right.
Continued to decline significantly. Among high school seniors, the average reading score last year was the lowest since the assessment began in 1992.
There are 3 hypotheses to explain what's been happening. Number 1 is there's been a decline in focus on test-based accountability since the No Child Left Behind Act expired in 2015. The rise in social media use, and a third, the rise in student absenteeism, which spiked during the pandemic but remains high.
And there's no one reason as to how we got here in 2026 where kids aren't able to read, write, spell, critically think, etc., etc. There's been a decline in test-based accountability when the No Child Left Behind Act, which for a long time I did think was something that they only talked about on like SNL and Family Guy skits, but coming to realize when I got into college that it was a real thing, I got really scared. Came into play, it made so that accountability was kind of wiped out across the board. If they can't read today, maybe they'll get it tomorrow. And even if they don't get it tomorrow, they'll be in the next grade anyway, so it'll no longer be my problem.
Yeah. Let me tell you about this No Child Left Behind. This No Child Left Behind stuff really benefited me because, again, I didn't really give a damn about school after 8th grade. So, yeah, I pretty much just got pushed on. It's not that I didn't know the concept or I struggled with the concept. It's just I didn't give a damn. I didn't see the point of me doing this if I'm not going to college. I didn't plan on going to college. So, yeah. This really saved me. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm a dumbass nigga, you know. So I can read, I can do basic math. I'm not using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm not using the Pythagorean theorem. I'm not using a parabola. I'm not using none of that. And that's all algebra talk or geometry talk. One of the two. I don't give a damn. So yeah, it's definitely benefited me. But for the most part, with people that didn't understand the basic concepts or didn't get it, like that genuinely struggled, it kind of hurt them in a way. I might sound like a hypocrite, but call it what you want, bro.
Rise in social media and phone usage, which I'll get to in 2 seconds. And then, especially with the pandemic, there's been a rise in absenteeism.
And I'm in an urban district, and we've seen ever since COVID, obviously, attendance going down. But my last class was 27 kids, and 8 of them were not here. So, I mean, this has been going on for a long time, but I'm more interested in the why rather than the what.
If a student misses 21 days of school and racks up 32 tardies, it's not the teacher's problem to fix. Teachers can't be on the hook for everything. Johnny's 24 absences aren't because Miss Jackson's lesson wasn't engaging enough. Absenteeism, it's not a classroom engagement issue. Teachers are responsible for the students who show up.
True, that is 100% true. It's like you hear, for my school, my high school, even my middle school, you couldn't skip because they calling your mama, they calling your parents if you show up late or you don't show up at all. My mama didn't play that. She didn't play that. Hey, get that whooping, get that belt, boy. Straight like that, bro. Get on that punishment, bro. If you skipping class or you're not in class, what are you doing if you're not in class? Why are you late to class? It's right up the hall, you know. So, yeah, my mama didn't play that. But then again, another thing, that's a parenting thing. Your parent got to actually give a damn about you. So, yeah. My school didn't play that. My mama didn't play that. So I couldn't just skip class, you know?
That's the parent's responsibility.
You know, the reason why I know the word Colonel is because when I was growing up, we used to eat KFC. I know.
Yeah, me too. That's how I know it too. We're from South Park. I watch TV with like the subtitles on, but I don't watch anime with the subtitles. Ain't that backwards? But yeah, when they had that KFC episode with Eric Cartman, yeah.
box. It wasn't a choice that I made, but she made sure that I knew the difference between the original recipe and the crispy one. I thought it was disgusting too. But I say all that to say,
I didn't know
that a lot
difference.
of this education mishap and question mark does start at home. And I know that there's a bunch of different factors like economic situations, careers these parents have. All these things do play into factor. But I do know one thing for certain. If you do take care of these things at home, reading practice, writing practice, mathematics practice, all these things will then spill over into their daily lives. Who would have known that if your parents go through flashcards with you, you may know how to spell or sound out or read silhouette and gauche in class.
Literacy rates are down because people who've never read a book are having kids. Reading, it starts at home. Teaching.
Yeah, it do. Even I just had this conversation with my mama the other day because I was reading to my daughter before she went to bed. My mama used to always read. She had a couple Disney books. It was like 3 different Disney books with all type of stories inside. When I was younger, she used to read. Me and my sister, we shared a room. She used to read these books to us before we went to bed. And when I was reading to my daughter before bed, that triggered a memory. So I'm asking my sister, like, you remember this? She was kind of young, so she didn't remember like that. But my mama remembered. I'm like, that's crazy how that just triggered in my mind. But yeah, man.
And they had the reading level and vocabulary of like some of the 3rd graders that I was working with.
We gotta remember that one day these kids who can't read will grow up to be adults who can't read. And what do adults who can't read do? They make babies. Adults who can read also make babies, but people generally make babies.
So it's an endless cycle unless that kid grow up and be like, I don't want to be illiterate like my parent. I don't want to be laughed at in class. I want to be able to get picked on in popcorn and read. Shit like that. I want to go to college. I want to do something in my life. I don't want to do what my parents are doing.
Baby, that probably means you can't teach that baby how to read. It's pretty crazy to think that 54% of U.S. adults have low literacy skills. I think that number in and of itself should be more concerning than even like the gas pump prices when I go to my local BP or Shell. That would put them on the equivalency of a 6th grade level. So now you've created this situation where the Spider-Man meme comes to real life, where they're pointing at each other and the blind is leading the blind, and you have grown adults who can't read teaching kids who can't read how to read. It's too much. It's too much.
It is.
Toy got home today, and her report card, her handwriting score, all of them were 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So on this.
See, I don't got the best handwriting. I never had a concept. Even with I went to Next Door Foundation, the daycare, because my mama worked there too. She worked at the daycare that me and my sister went to. So I was a badass kid as well. So she used to put that belt down, put that foot down. But no, I say that to say this. I still don't hold the pencil like a regular person. I hold it my way because it's comfortable that way. But they put this little rubber thing on there to help me write, and it just felt uncomfortable. So I still write how I write. Like this, how she writing. Hold on, bro. Let's take a look at her work. Nah, this is sloppy, but it's a kid though. You can't do too much on kids because she's still trying to figure out her groove and how to write and whatnot. But this is terrible. I don't know how old this boy or girl is, but yeah, that's a pretty sloppy handwriting. My handwriting mine is just sloppy neat. You know what I'm saying? I had to show y'all one day.
I'm not meeting standards at this time. 2, standards partially met.
I was every time somebody see me writing, they say, "Are you left-handed?" Or "Are you left-handed?" Cause how I hold the pencil. I hold it. This is one of my girl love perfumes. I hold it like this. Straight like this. Yeah. That's how I hold it.
More time. So handwriting skills, print legibly using proper pencil grip. Or 1. I mean, you holding it how you supposed to hold it. I don't understand how
no,
that
she
works.
not.
So
She's supposed to use the 3 fingers or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm not the perfect one. I don't write like that, but that's not the proper way to, you know what I'm saying? They usually say geniuses have sloppy handwriting.
Trying to figure out like what's really going on in the school. Like I'm really about to change schools again.
I don't think people understand.
I think it's changing school. The school is not the problem. Your parenting is the problem. You know what I'm saying?
How big of a deal this truly is. Since the pandemic, people have been turning to homeschooling their kids because of unsatisfactory planning from schools around the nation when it came to the way that they handled 6 feet apart and all these other things, social distancing. Maybe they didn't like the fact that there were any social distancing rules in place. People are afraid of school pew-pewings happening more and more and more. But ultimately, at the end of the day, there's been a rise in
for the most part, that's in like the white community. We ain't really got to worry about that. You know what I'm saying?
homeschooling their kids. That doesn't even factor into all the like political reasons as to why people do that, but that's not why you're here on this channel. But we're not asking ourselves, if half of the US has a literacy crisis in the adult age range, and those people are also participating in homeschooling, then who the hell is teaching these kids how to actually do some reading, writing, and arithmetic? True.
I hope that if you're homeschooling your children, that you're doing your utmost best to make sure that they're successful in the academic element aspect in life. But honestly, say what you want to say. I feel like children need to go to school. They need to learn how to interact with other people, how to get along with other people, how to carry themselves in certain situations. You learn that in school. School is about more than just academics. It's about a day-to-day life thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to deal with people at work every day when you do start going to work. Now, you lack social skills because, or you lack the awareness of other people because you was homeschooled. You don't know how to interact with other people. You don't know how to consider other people's feelings. See? I feel like regular school is...
To Best Buy with me and my baby girls. I am gonna buy them some iPads. I have been debating this for...
My baby not getting no damn iPad. See, even... See, when her granny got her iPad, but she can keep that over there. But other than that, she's not getting no iPad. I'm not buying her no iPad. No. I'm not dealing with that. No. Hell no.
Very long time. I mostly
She got
need them
twins.
for whenever we travel. As you guys know, traveling with toddlers is a lot of freaking work.
That's right. Those same kids who got frustrated about reading, writing, and arithmetic while they were in school.
They about to get their brain fried by them tablets.
I don't know, some sort of device or a ball or played some music are the same parents now who, when trying to teach their kids reading, writing, and arithmetic, are more than likely to go and, I don't know, buy their kids an iPad. Buy your 1-year-old toddler an iPad. It's actually the most insane thing in the world. There's a study out there that says by the age of 4, 58% of children already have their own tablet or smartphone. Now, before those people get in my comments saying, well, Omar, tablets and smartphones can provide other things. They're stimulants and other
They
ways.
can, but if you don't police them right, it's a lot of brain rot and a lot of BS and exposure to a lot of things that kids aren't supposed to be exposed to. Hence to why they throw an attitude when you take their device from them or you change the channel. No, go play with toys. No. Go get creative. Go figure out imagination. I'm not about to fry my baby brain. She better go get creative. Yes, sir.
These people are using it as a means and a method to teach their kids, full stop. I have many friends who have many babies, cousins, all these other things like that, and they're letting Blippi and the little Spider-Man kid thing and whatever is on YouTube Kids be the means that teach their kids how to read, write, spell, learn colors, etc., etc. And there's way too many studies that show about how much over screen time usage can be detrimental to a young child, let alone the fact that they think it's some sort of substitution for teaching. And so now when they send their children to school, they think that it's a problem that the teachers aren't teaching the kids anything, as opposed to back in our day when they thought that something was supposed to be done first at home. No. They think the responsibility lies
true though.
100% solely on the teacher.
It all starts at home. How much teach your child if you're not? My mama, she got a daycare. My baby got her daycare. She got this new thing to where she's not potty training children until she sees that the parents are actually trying to potty train, because that little time that she spends with them, okay, it just makes sense. Because why is she trying if you're not trying at home? It just makes sense, straight like that.
The first thing that we need to do is address this common misconception that learning starts in kindergarten. Your child is not even allowed to attend school until they turn 5 years old. That means that the learning should have started at home. You have 5 years to teach your child how to write their name, to teach their child their basic letter sounds, to teach your child how to count to 10, so that they have some kind of foundation to continue learning when they enter kindergarten.
It's sad because you're letting Professor AT&T and Dr. Xfinity be the ones that instruct your children for their entire lives. And we know with the rise of social media, with the rise of these different platforms and their algorithms, that can't be something that's beneficial. Now, I did have some sort of smartphone growing up. Granted, it wasn't until my later years in high school, probably my junior and senior year, but I at least had that foundation to build off of, and then coming into my later years, learned how to navigate these things. But I will say that there were two things on the telephone, smartphones, laptops, all these other things that I personally, as a 29-year-old man, did not have to deal with when I was
29 not even old, bro. Dang, like he 40 or something.
my school age years. Number one was 2 letters.
Hey, y'all, welcome to the broke side of YouTube. We gonna get an ad blocker when we get monetized. Don't worry about it. Just stay down until we come up. We coming up real soon. Trust.
Population, where they either use slides to answer the questions or they went to websites, entered the information for the answer. Numbers 1 through 6, instead of just using the slides that they were given, this student decided to use ChatGPT, which repeatedly told him this table does not contain this information. And he wrote it. He just kept writing that. At what point were you gonna be
See, this is another thing. How you gonna cheat and cheat wrong? You got. Alright, it's like even with plagiarism in school. I remember I got put on academic probation because my boy Moses, he did the homework. I didn't do the homework. I erased his name off the paper. Bro, cause he my barber now. When I get cut by him, I'm gonna ask him to remember that shit. I got him in trouble a little bit, but all in all, I got put on academic probation because I wrote my name on his homework paper. Cause I didn't have I left it at home. But that's a different type of stupid. But this is also a different type of stupid. Yes, ChatGPT gonna give you the answers, but it's like you gotta learn how to summarize it in your own words. Then you writing the wrong information. You didn't even attempt to do it. This is why parents need to monitor what their kids are doing on their phone. You know, ChatGPT got a history, right? You can check the history on the ChatGPT. If you didn't know that.
That's not the right answer. And then for numbers 13 and 14, where it says, what was the population on your birthday? And he wrote, requires your birthday to answer. When's your birthday? Why does ChatGPT have to tell you when your birthday is?
So
lacking comprehension. Nigga just writing everything down, bro.
Lacking in your reading and writing and comprehension skills. And
Dog, I'm gonna call Moses when I'm done recording. When I'm done recording, I gotta talk to Moses about that, bro. I'm gonna call him, bro.
To be 100% true fact, there's no way for you to even deduce or critically think if there is right or wrong in these things. And now AI is setting you up for an internal life of failure, specifically because you think it's like the answer and not maybe some sort of assistant. I'm not gonna front and act like I didn't use Chegg when I was growing up. Like I definitely did.
Yeah, we all use the cheating stuff, especially Quizlet. Quizlet had the exact answer, word bar from bar, question for question, but you gotta summarize it in your own way. You know, I'm not doing that on no paper though, cause they had this plagiarism reading thing. You just better off typing your own paper, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Learn how to reword the word that you just said a couple sentences ago. You know what I'm saying? Make the sentence longer. Just bullshit. You know, you gotta learn that, bro.
I knew when Chegg was wrong, right? Or at least how to deduce if we were in the area of a reasonable answer. Now we're just going with it through blind faith and believing that it's true. Like, I think that that's just the stupidest thing in the world. And speaking of listening to things with blind faith and not being able to deduce or reason what the messaging actually is, the second thing that I didn't have to deal with when I was growing up as it pertains to having a phone or social media is the rise of influencers and their words being used as law to create how we navigate our lives.
G-shit though, we gotta start teaching our kids though just financial wealth and literacy and all that shit early, because by the time they get to 9th grade, they should be just learning how to start businesses and how to.
I mean, yeah. I'm surprised you have to say that. You just have kids and just let them figure out life. I mean, you do let them figure out life to a certain aspect, but you got to teach them the basic math, how to read, how to write, how to handle certain situations in life. That's the whole point of being a parent. If not, you just there just because.
But they don't really need to know how to read.
Wait. Look at them just talking. Why don't you need to know how to read? You need to learn how to read. Yes, you need to learn how to read. How you getting through life and not reading? You need to read everything in life. You're going to sign a bogus contract. You can't read a stop sign. You just know that it stopped because it's big and red and it's a triangle. You might think it's a triangle. I know it's not a fucking triangle, but you think it's a triangle because you didn't learn what the shape was.
Wait, I ain't gonna say that.
I just want to get on here and say congratulations to all the high school graduates, all of my high school students that's graduating this year. Congratulations. You just went to school for 12 years for a slip of paper that you will never use again in your life.
There has been this
bullshit. You need to use that paper to get job opportunities. You know, I use it to roll up my blunt sometimes. I used to. Then I gave it to my mama because she said, "Why are you doing that?" Bah, 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 bah. But no, you definitely use the high school diploma. That's why they ask you on job applications. If you never filled out a job application, they ask you, Do you have a high school diploma? Do you have a GED? Did you go to college? Or are you currently in school? That's why they asked that. You need those credentials, and you learn, like I said before, earlier in the video, you learn different things. It's more. The school is more than learning the academic aspect. It's learning the social aspect and how to interact with other people and intermingle with other people, how to respect other people, all this extra stuff.
I do mean growing sentiment that education and learning and post-secondary school has been some sort of scam this whole time, and that we should stop at like middle school and we should be focusing on businesses and all these things. I'm here to tell you, capitalism is not here to save you. This I get money culture that we are creating and breeding.
Yeah, you get money after you get the education. You need the education to get the money. If you have no education, you're not getting money. Hence why people go to college. You know what I'm saying? Hence why you need a high school diploma or a GED to go get a certain job. You can't just drop out of middle school and then try to get a job, a good paying job. No, you need that piece of paper.
Means to escape reality, all at the cost of learning how to read and write, will not save you. And these people who are pushing these narratives in any way, shape, form, or fashion are so bad faith, it's disgusting. We all know that social media influencers have major and massive power of the tongue when it comes to speaking things into existence or influencing people to live by the pathways that they believe. But for what it's worth, these people are outliers, and these people that are outliers can say some of the dumbest things, especially when it comes to education.
Why is it that your parents got taught the same way in school that your kids are getting taught? Look, think of how much everything is advanced. Look at Mark Rober's videos. Look at all the amazing educational content where you learn such great or like such complex topics in like 20 minutes, and it's really engaging and fun, and you retain it. And like, look at what we subject our kids to, just like listening to a teacher read out of a book in the most boring way imaginable. I think education should be reformed dramatically.
Mr. Beast, the world's biggest YouTuber.
Nah, I mean, I guess you gotta make learning. And you got to make learning engageable. Engageable is not a word, but you have to make it to where the kid will want to engage if they're not as interested. I believe in that, but you got to go do 20 backflips to show them that 20 minus 7 is whatever. No, you don't need to do that. But I definitely agree that you need to make learning more fun so people can engage more. Let's say that.
Solution to changing the education system, the one that is boring, the one that our parents, who for what it's worth had a better literacy rate than we do. His solution to changing all that is making more YouTube videos.
Talking about make more YouTube videos.
I agree that there can be some sort of reform, but it always comes after somebody is dissing or being disingenuous about the benefits of traditional education. So now we've created the society in which it's actually okay to shit on education on a daily basis. In fact, if you are somebody who is speaking up for or being proud about education, your degree is getting questioned. Your credentials and credibility are being put to the test, as opposed to somebody who used AI or ChatGPT to get some sort of answers. Don't think I forgot about all those people who made fun of Kai Cenat when he was on his journey of bettering himself, when he was reading books.
All right, watch this.
Hey y'all, welcome to the broke side of YouTube. I'm gonna get an ad block when I get monetized. Don't worry about it.
Spontan.
Alright, this right here should be done behind closed doors, but you're a content creator, so do as you please. You know what I'm saying? But people just love to hate. That's all it is. People love to hate, to see people try to do better in life and try to excel better in life. That's all it is. People just love to hate.
Spontaneous,
nigga.
Caption of this video said Kai Cenat constantly had to look up what certain words meant while reading his journey to become a
They're trying to say spontaneous
or speaker. Like, that's probably what you do when you don't know how to read, when you don't know how to write. This is why those kids didn't know what gauche, extraordinary, silhouette.
Yeah, all in all, bro, it all starts with the parenting. Parents need to do better so we can be a better society and whatnot. We can coexist all on the same wavelength mentally. But now, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I said what I said, and I'm gonna catch you niggas in the next one. Yes, sir.